Well, good evening, everybody. Welcome back to the last episode of the Baseball Card Junkies podcast for 2024. I'm here with Arnie from carddeal.com. We've got Mike from Ripping for Rookies right below from me, and we've got a special guest, Magnus. How you doing, gentlemen?
Doing good.
Doing great.
Awesome. Do a quick roll call. We've got PSA Tendencies who came in, hung out, unless he stepped out for a little bit. That happens to be I forgot his name.
Spine tick.
There you go, Spine Tick.
Okay.
And we got Mike DeFrancesco. Welcome aboard.
What's up, Mike?
I want to go ahead and my daughter poked their head in here with a quick $5 dono. I do appreciate it. Then we have Larkin. How is everybody doing in the chat?
So just popped in.
So for the most part, this last episode, we're gonna talk about some real minor stuff that we usually see every now and then. But then we're gonna end off this episode with a recap of our experiences, either personal or from what we've seen within the hobby for 2024. And if we had a wish list, we'll go ahead and determine announce exactly what is it that we would like to see personally happen in the hobby going into the new year. So first things first, the only thing that I haven't even looked at, but I know it has been released, was Allen and Ginter X. Beautiful set. Not gonna lie. Have any of you seen it open? I know, Arnie, we was talking about it real briefly, and you said that it was
Yeah, it's been pretty good. It looks real nice. Just the quick snapshot there that Enfuego just put up the base numbers. Really short printed product with an online exclusive, which is what you're normally going to see. I was in 2 total case breaks, 2 different teams, and I saw roughly almost 18-ish, somewhere in the 16 to 18 range autographs per case, which is about 2.5 to 3 times what we normally would see. And a lot of numbered stuff because of the short print run stuff. But I love the black chrome, just a base chrome black card. Looks amazing.
So as far as QC, you think it's on point?
Yeah, just as nice as the other stuff. And, you didn't see a bunch of cards with the white borders, white corners on the black cards or anything like that. But the chrome stuff was great.
There you go. Magnus, have you seen any of this stuff opened up?
Not this year's. I've seen the prior years. I've always liked the set. Really sharp looking.
Yeah.
What's the price at for the box?
I didn't even look at secondary recently, so I know it sold out pretty quickly.
Yeah, I mean,
I think we looked at it a couple of nights ago.
Was it 150 something?
I think it originally started at 150.
That's not too bad.
Yeah, because I think it was a 119 box or something, and it increased a little bit. So, and again, with this rookie class, I don't know. But after seeing a full case, you do get a lot of autos, a lot of stuff.
How many chrome cards do you get?
They're not guaranteed. It's kind of similar running to the a normal box of Ginter, where you'll get 1 refractor per box.
Okay.
So there's the chrome right there. On the full size, and then the minis are 6 per player.
Okay.
So it's very, very few to get a mini.
okay.
Yeah, the black chrome looks just like the refractors that come out of Allen and Ginter, or no, I'm sorry, Heritage.
Heritage, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that refractor border.
But I'm actually glad to see that this particular set for this year was not overly popular printed. So I mean. No. You can see the numbers here. No complaints.
I don't know if this was a set that was supposed to be issued for like the Montgomery Club people to get their first look at it. Okay. And now the Montgomery Club used to have a lot more exclusive where you would get at least an opportunity to buy 1 box.
Right.
Or this would sell out. Now, as of last year, 23, they definitely trimmed down and took a lot of those exclusive off there. So the Montgomery Club is not as exciting.
Yeah, well, hope we'll see how that comes out. I mean, if I happen to run into a hobby box somewhere out there, I might pick it up, see what it's all about. But I don't know. But a lot of these MLB debut patches, I haven't really seen anybody putting out any like ridiculous bounties for them lately. And I think we're at a point right now with this particular set, there's no need for it. You know, if one gets pulled of a big name, it gets posted all over social media. Okay.
Mhm.
So, like, for example, we got this one. We got Jackson Churio. His was just pulled a couple of days ago, but at the same token, it was announced that it did get graded and it actually got sold relatively quick. Now with this one, it actually sold for $105,000.
Damn.
Now
The struggle's real.
Wow.
yeah, that's, and then mind you, at least with this one, it's not a 10-10. The card
Right.
is a 9, the auto's a 10. Okay, which is respectable because I know
Still a strong grade.
if it was anybody else, like an Otani or a Trout or whoever, you almost guaranteed a 10-10, which I personally don't agree with, but who am I? All right, so there was some words or rumors going around in Rumorville with some new additions to the 2025 Series 1 flagship set. Okay, and like to know what everybody in the chat thinks about the addition of Barry Bonds autos being added into it. Not only in his Giants uniform, he'll have autos. He'll also be in his Pirates uniform.
Well, my first reaction to you that night was exactly what I'm going to say again. They've got a weak rookie class in Series 1. So they're going to throw something else in there. And then Arnie commented tonight, and Arnie, if you want to say what it is, go ahead.
Yeah, I just hope they don't use that as leverage to try to boost the price of flagship.
Thank you.
I just they have to leave certain things alone, and if they don't, we'll see. Listen. The hobby is starting to speak. The draft box was a good sign. I don't find it as a negative. I just find it as it's priced too high. You have to lower the price, and when you can go and buy a box on the secondary market for $25 to $40 cheaper than you have it on your site right now, you're probably not going to move much of that product. So it's time to lower the prices.
Okay. What are your thoughts, Magnus?
I love it. I mean, I'd rather chase an auto like this than some rookie guy where 90% of them never pan out. At least this guy's proven and highly collectible.
Right.
I mean, granted, I agree with Arnie if they're using this to spike the price, and I don't like that. But I'd rather see more stuff like that than just a bunch of crap. So
yeah, and that may be pertaining to the checklist too. We may see a nice checklist where how many autos is he going to sign in this, and that'll definitely change things too, because Series 1 is always the most printed. It's the start of spring training. It's back to baseball season and collecting season. The new year, the new release, the new rookies, new design. So there's another thing there. It's pretty wild because we see Series 2 right now for about 15 to 20% less for 2023. And in my opinion, I think 2023 Series 2 has a better rookie class with Volpe and all those other guys versus 23 Series 1, where you just have Adley and Gunnar. And there's some others too, that I may be missing, but the main guys. So sometimes it only takes one player, like Magnus said, to push a product like a Bonds. And he's going to have base cards too, I would assume, if they're used to have an auto. So maybe we'll have other inserts or something.
I would be surprised if they throw him in the base set, but at least they got him in an insert
as like an image variation or like a super short print. That would be great. I'd see it as a set builder. I'm in for that too. I'm just worried about the price, so that's my only reservation.
Okay, so I'm gonna throw this out there. With the name, with a name like Barry Bonds and the controversy behind the name, do you think with him being added to this set is going to have current collectors look past the controversy and actually try to get one of these autos?
Absolutely.
Yeah, when it comes to valuable cards and a guy that hasn't signed for, I think Magnus said something like 10 plus years, maybe longer.
Yeah, I mean, last one was what, 2017, and then before that was 2013. So
yeah, we're talking huge swings in the last 2 decades. So I'm going to go with Magnus on this one. That I think when it comes to value of cards, people look the other way. But in terms of collectability, yeah, I don't know. I mean, we all know what he did. We still collect them. Oh, you know, we all understand it's still part of our childhood growing up, and he was a big name. So,
because I mean, it goes back to what you said. Despite him being one in the junk wax era, 2 tied to steroids, whatever he does have out there now, people are paying top dollar for.
Yeah, that's all that's out there. There's not cases and cases of, 96 blank or 97 this or that, whatever. But yeah, there's a lot of 87 and 88 tops and traded sets and things like that. But eventually that stuff also gets dried up. Yep. Remember, the stuff in the 70s that you're seeing in these auctions for $5,000 and $10,000 a box. Now, mind you, it's not going to be that expensive. But if you go grab a 71, 72, 75, whatever box of cellos or wax box, those boxes 10, 20 years ago were $500, $800, $1,500. Now they're 10,000. So eventually, yeah, the stuff is going to dry up. Now, is 1988 Topps going to be that way in 20 years, even if it dries up? No, because there's not a lot of players in that. But 87, 86, 85, 83, and you start working your way back into the 80s, it's starting to get expensive now. And 86 Topps with that black border, those boxes were $15, $20. You'd be lucky to get one that's from a sealed case for under 150. So that stuff's rising. So it's all coming. It's all going to start changing. But like Magnus said, that 90s stuff when he did sign in the early 2000s, and
right,
it's very valuable now. So I have a feeling he's right when it comes to this is what we're going to see.
I kind of mentioned it earlier. I can only imagine what his prices would be if you find that autograph in a high end, like a Luminaries or a Dynasty.
Yeah. What if he never did steroids? I mean, and he didn't sign for a long time. This would be how much bigger?
Oh man.
Yeah. I mean, this would be like
you would find an influx of Barry Bonds fans.
This would be probably the biggest news of a player to release, because he would have he's got the 700 plus home runs. He would be the king of everything in all those categories with no steroids, in the Hall of Fame already, and just 10-year gaps between signing. Oh yeah, this would be. But we'll see. You could be wrong about it. I just hope that they make the right moves. And again, I don't think they're going to go crazy if they do increase it, or even if they increase it at all. Right. Because you got to remember, this is the most highest print run product of the year for Topps, period.
And that's another thing I'm fearing too. How big of a print run is going to be for Series 1?
Well, how hard is it going to be to get one of these? A case is still 4 autos roughly.
On the
4 autos in a case. I mean, it's not like they're going to change the cases to, 1 auto per. Then they would just raise the price, but then you'd fill in a bunch of junk autos.
Yeah.
So that's my only fear, is if they change something where they're making it different. It's usually 4 to 5 autos, and then the rest are relics in a 12-box hobby case. It's been that way for decades. So
okay,
I just hope they leave it alone and keep it fun.
I agree. Want to go ahead and take a moment to thank a couple of individuals who did some donations. We got Don Summer with a $4.99 donation. My daughter, Hispanic Finesse, with another $2.99 donation, and then my brother with a $20 donation, and then my daughter again with another $4.99 dono. I appreciate you guys' support and everybody that's hanging out here.
Does your daughter have access to your credit card?
Not yet.
Okay.
Not yet. I have a feeling she's going to call right after this.
You'll start seeing super chat.
Yeah, I might have to check my bank accounts. But yeah, I mean, honestly, I think seeing Barry after such a hiatus, it'll be good for the hobby. Let's see how the hobby takes this opportunity and capitalizes on it. So it's just a matter of time. But looking at the Beckett schedule for 2025, and we've touched on it quite a few times in the past, and seems like nothing is changing. So the third, we got TOPPS Luminary. All right. Nothing really special about this as of yet. Don't know about a price point yet, but checklist looks good. They got the cut signatures of those past individuals, bat knobs, signature relics. I mean, it's not going to be cheap. I will say that. Okay. And then the greatest book checklist, which is only one card, and they've got quite a few names on here. They got Chipper Jones, A-Rod, Pedro Martinez, Big Unit, Griffey, Big Hurt, Mariano. I mean, pick a name, he's going to be on this card.
Wow.
You know, and then they even mention what teams those individuals are actually on. So that'll be good.
Yeah, it's exciting when anybody gets one of those. It's fun to see, you know.
All right, so this is everything that Luminaries has to offer. And then on the 8th is TOPPS Archives. So now we was going through the checklist before the show actually kicked off, and we was curious to see, because I went through X and a post was made stating that TOPPS Archives will promise more retro designs. So the question that we was asking was, okay, what designs are they going to be coming up with? So we ended up determining that they're going to have the 95, 96, 99, and 06 for one insert set. Then they're going to have the 53, 58, 68, and 90 for other sets. And then going further down into those actual insert sets, nothing has been released for the 53 set or the 58. But we got 68, we got 90, 95, 99, 06. So I'm curious to see who's actually all going to be on that list.
Going to be interesting.
Anybody plan on diving into Archives when it comes out while it's cheap?
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to, but not. I guess like I always do. You know, I'll dabble, maybe a box for myself, and then maybe a break or two with Mike, because Mike's going to do one. I heard.
Apparently, I'm being talked into doing one.
I'm going to get a case and send half the boxes to Mike. So,
Okay.
Yeah. So I think we're going to do something like that, where Mike will be able to run a nice break and, you know, see if we get the boxes pretty cheap enough, meaning even if it's $10-15 less than what it normally goes for, that goes a long way in a break for 30 guys.
Absolutely does when you're breaking 6 boxes or a case or something.
But I do like the fact that they did come out with that mini compact for Stadium Club, and they're doing it again for the lunch boxes. I think that's great, because you're opening up a nice product that has a guaranteed auto, and it could have a legend, could have a current rookie, but you're offering it at 50% of the price to another range of collectors where they have to stay under that $100 and they can't go to 120, 150, whatever it is, because maybe their budget's 100 and they can get a blaster or some supplies and some boxes, cardboard boxes at the store, and a box of the compact to get an auto, and still come home with a lot of stuff for their collection at $100 if that's their budget. You know, I think that's a real good thing here.
Yeah, and TOPPS started that last year with Archives, and then rolled it into Stadium Club, which came out in actually 2024 in January. So it's nice to see that they're keeping it with those two products so far. They might expand it. Who knows?
I mean, regardless of who listens to this, I guess my number one thing I would scream from the mountaintops if I had to pick one would be, if something's too expensive, just buy something else. There's hundreds of products from 10 years ago, 20 years ago, 30 years ago that's under $50 a box. I mean, you can go online and go, wow, I remember this. This was so-and-so's rookie, or this is no, there's other stuff that's expensive. But if you have $100 budget and you're not liking the rookie class, or you're tired of the new modern stuff,
Yeah.
Go back 3 or 4 years. You can find some really nice stuff that may even have a guaranteed auto for $75 to $100, and you'll have a lot more fun with it. So you don't have to buy the new stuff just because it's new. And I think with draft being overpriced, I think it's good that the hobby spoke up on that. I don't know if we're going to see a big movement with these smaller price boxes, meaning 550 versus 150. But if they start creeping up to 200 in a year or two with this archives and other stuff, then yeah, it's a no-go for me. That's where I draw the line.
So yeah, like Spicy Bear saying, he would prefer Heritage, but archives is always nice.
Yeah, I love Heritage. The day they mess with Heritage is the day I quit.
And then you
It's basically the same thing.
It is.
Yeah.
It's just one design, which I like it because it's a trend that's continued. So every year we're going to see the next design. So next year is 76, 77, 78, and we know what we're getting into. There's no surprises.
We'll see how it all plays out. I mean,
if the chat had $150, what are you buying today? The new release of Archives or anything else? $150 in the chat. What are you buying right now? How about you, Mike?
What else can you buy at 150?
I mean, you could buy a lot of different Heritage. You could buy a lot of archives from other years. You could buy stuff that
just like hobby related. You're limited to pretty much what? Heritage and archives.
Okay.
Yeah, and flagship.
SP Hobby Series 2 from last year.
I like that.
You could buy 8 boxes of 2023 Heritage mega boxes.
Yeah.
Oh, Ginter. I'd buy Ginter.
Yeah, Ginter's another good one.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, we've seen that come down to around the 135 range. It was at like 145, and I think there's some, maybe solo boxes after taxes and everything, but there's still some shops that have it for like the 135 range. But yeah, so I think you just have to be more selective with your purchases. That's all.
Yeah, I mean, because everybody has their own preferences. Like, I don't see too many people saying, you know what, I'm gonna go ahead and be the first one online to go pick up some Big League.
Yeah, but I'll tell you what, Big League was a lot of fun for $40 a box, man.
They definitely were.
You know what you're getting into. It's like if you complain about Big League and you spent $40, people would laugh at you. Well, what do you expect? Yeah, it's buying the $8 steak, expecting a fillet or a $40 cut.
Yeah. So, and then the last one that's actually going to be coming out on the 18th is Bowman's Best. And I can only imagine what the prices are going to be for this. I mean, as you can see, the ad running for eBay,
400,
$394, $4 to yeah.
So they did the same thing there in Enfuego. If you want to back up just a hair to show those boxes, they did the same thing with the 2 mini boxes that they got rid of for TOPPS Finest and put it into one box. So that's the new format.
Yep. They're going back to the old ways.
Yeah. So a lot of times you'd see a lot of shops actually selling those mini boxes. They'd split it, or you'd be able to buy one from one person because they're each going to have 2 autos, which was nice. You knew you were getting the guaranteed auto, similar to Bowman Chrome. Hey, you take half the box, I'll buy the other half.
If you think about it, you're getting 4 autos. So it's $100 an auto. All right. So if you were to buy a hobby box of this year's update, how much is that going for?
Under 100. Oh, I'm sorry. 20. I was thinking 23. 24 is
it's up there.
Probably get them at like 155 at a shop or 150 range. I sold one last night for 165. So
with no guaranteed auto.
Correct.
No.
So actually, it's not a bad deal.
It's not. Here's the problem with the Bowman's Best. You're competing, and I love Bowman's Best because I'm with Magnus on the history of the old refractors, the first atomic. That was big back in 90. I think it was 96. Magnus, correct me if I'm wrong, but I love the atomics. That was a Bowman's Best thing. That was wow, this is pretty cool, which is the cracked ice that they call for Panini, and we see that everywhere now in different colors like sapphire. But 30 some years ago, that was the card. Almost 30 years ago, that was the card to get. Bowman's Best was a lot stronger of a product because you didn't have all these other releases. So with Bowman Chrome, Bowman Draft, and then some of these guys having prospect cards in here, your 4th Bowman release down, 5th including Bowman Platinum or Sterling. Right. So where do you draw the line with the Bowman? And then if you're going to go after a TOPPS flagship rookie, aren't you going to go Chrome? in Chrome Update, or you're going to go to Bowman's Best to get a Chrome card with the rookie logo. So you got to, or you go to Finest. You know what I mean? This is getting to be too far down the line to be a $400 box, in my
It's a personal
opinion.
preference type deal. I mean,
Yeah,
what would you
exactly.
want what type of design you want your player to be on?
Yeah. But listen, this is a great product. It's just, again, that's the resale price. It'll be cheaper on top site. So don't look at those prices and go buying it in pre-sale, because they're not going to run out of this stuff.
Nope. And you got to have that high speed internet too if you want to try to get in on those pre-sale.
No flip phones.
Can you scroll up to the box configuration again in Fuego?
Yes, I sure can. So we're looking at.
So is it 4 packs in there?
No, did they change the packs? Let's see the pack, because it was never 4 packs.
It's 5 packs per hobby with 12 packs per box.
Wait, what?
Wait.
Oh, cards per pack.
I'm sorry, 5 cards per
12
pack.
packs. Okay, so it's 12 packs per box. Okay.
Yeah. So how many cards is that? 8. Well, the 8-box case, that's normal. Packs per hobby, 12. Okay.
Yeah, because that's the hobby was saying. I'm glad the mini boxes are going away. I'll be able to buy a pack at the LCS, which is good.
Yeah,
which is good. But
the downside is the other guys that, if I'm there with I have a budget of, let's say the box is 300 and I want to spend 150 and get 2 guaranteed autos. A lot of shops won't open that up. You're not going to get that half that mini box. So now it's like, well, where is
that's why I was thinking it might have only been 4 packs or something like that. Each pack has an auto in there.
Yeah,
I got you. Yeah.
But overall, I mean, just looking at the designs, they look good. I'm not gonna lie.
It's always a busy design, like Finest is, and
they are on card autos. Got the nice little auto relics. Some of the inserts.
That's a nice die cut right there.
It is, and now I'm glad to see that PSA will actually fit the slab around the die cut.
And I love that right there, right by his knee. That's the old Bowman's Best logo, the stamp there, the gold. I love that. Yeah.
And then you got this one here, the Fabled Phenom. Okay, so.
But at $400 a box, let's just say that is the price. At $400, are you looking for other stuff? Are you looking for 2 boxes of hobby update and then an extra $100 in your pocket? You know what I mean? So this is that same conversation. I think, like you said, it's going to be preference and
So I mean, it's all personal preference. Like if I was to dive into Bowman's Best, I'm cherry picking singles. That's just the way I look at it. I mean, I don't foresee. I know once it does release, all the big name breakers are going to be breaking it, and the prices are going to be astronomical. And we'll see. I already know where that train is going. But real quick, I know Mike and I brought this up previously about a certain card with 5 Hall of Famers who are no longer with us have autos on them, and they're actually in a slab and everything. This is the card we was talking about.
Wow.
I mean, this is beautiful, and it actually went through Heritage. I don't know how much it went for, but that's besides the point.
A couple good players on there.
Just a few.
Just a couple of 5.
Let me see. I think 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, all 5 of them.
Yeah, nice card. I like that they didn't sign over their face.
Yeah. I agree.
Mike Schmidt, I'm talking to you. Stop signing over your face in your rookie card.
All right, so real quick though, before we actually get into the meat and potatoes of everything, just want everybody to know that Aaron Judge has made it to Times Square and he's ready for the ball to drop come New Year's.
Big whoop.
Right. People have so much time on their hand. I love it.
Yeah.
Wow.
I love it. They make us laugh.
Another big move has actually happened recently, and speaking of the Yankees, I know a certain Yankee fan that happens to be a groupie of Gleyber Torres is probably a little disgruntled with Mr. Torres now being a part of the Tigers.
He could sell all his cards to what's his name in the chat.
Send him all the sticks.
Yeah, send him the sticks.
I am curious though, what was his going rate?
I'm going to say 15 or 15 or 16 million.
I'd say 15 for a year. That's what I'm thinking.
Actually,
how many years did he get? Does anybody?
I think it's only a 1 year deal.
Years.
Oh, that's all? Okay.
Oh, how about that? 1 year, 15 million.
Oh, there you go.
And then he's got a one-time $500,000 assignment bonus in the event he's traded to another club. So, and he's only 27.
Yeah,
so
you know what?
There's still
That's
hope.
not a bad deal for Detroit. I mean, it's 1 year. See what he can do. He might not feel the pressure from New York, and have a career year. And if he does, at 15 million, that's not a bad deal.
No, it's really not. But now, what would really be a kick in the pants would be he ends up walking away as an MVP candidate at the end of 2025 with the Tigers.
Yeah.
What message is that relaying to Cashman and Steinbrenner and them?
Let's back up. Do you think the Yankees even need him?
Well, as of right now,
meaning with all the money you just spent on Judge and all the youth that you have right now coming up, because they can extend Dominguez at any time if he blows up and hey, here's $100 million, to snag him and lock him in for the next 10 years. I don't know. I mean, maybe that was the Yankees' plan. Maybe the Yankees had no intentions of signing him at all.
Because right now they do have a utility player, Oswaldo Cabrera or Oswald Peraza. Got to make sure I get those names right.
Yeah, one's at third and one's at second.
Yes, Peraza is the one that's at second.
And he made a costly error in the series as well. That fumbled the ball. So, but he's young. He's a platoon player, and if they're going to make him full time at a position because he's cheap, that's not a Yankee move. They're not worried about $15 million a year. I think they're just he just wasn't the guy. They're going to look for other options because there's other players out there. I mean, they can always make moves and free agent next year. Maybe they're looking at someone that's coming up next year that's going to be available that they really want to go after and throw a bunch of money at, and then let's get some cash freed up, and then But that's an important position, so I do find that odd that nothing's happened yet.
That's a good question, Dom. What are the odds that Glaber comes close to MVP? Who knows? I mean, that's a tough one to say. Because, I mean, if you look at Severino, I'm sure he went to the A's. He's probably going to be their 1 or 2 starter, leaving the Yankees as a 4 or 5 starter.
I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see.
Yeah.
I think a change of scenery might do him good.
And a lot of players it does. And then sometimes they do drop off big time for pitchers, but that's usually a velocity thing with like when some of the players they go up to, what is it? We had a couple good closers we sent to the Rockies over the past 10 years. Cleveland did, and boy, you never hear from. They're out of the league.
Yeah, you know what? Speaking of low market teams, because nobody really hears about big name players going to small market teams, but this one kind of threw me off. Y'all may not be aware of it, but who knows? We'll take a shot at it.
Yeah, I just saw that. Good
for them.
6 years, $210 million.
Yeah, they locked him in.
30-some million. Oh my God. Is there a guaranteed? But still, this money is out of control.
I mean, nobody saw the fact that he was actually going to be going to Arizona, and I'm curious to know the details of this contract. Because people were wondering, okay, when is Corbin Burns going to be picked up?
Yeah.
Okay, so he's guaranteed 30 in 25, 30 in 26. He can opt out in 27 at 37.5. And then it'll be 37.5 up until 2030 if he rides out the entire contract.
Yeah. Well, good for the fans of the Diamondbacks. Rocky's kid's a Diamondbacks fan.
Yeah. I mean, they got Josh Naylor and Corbin Burns.
Yeah. Well, they got one of the best pitchers in the game in Zach Gallen.
True.
Kid's great.
One of the best, youngest pitchers.
Yeah. He was a rookie in 2020. He's always up there in the conversations. Cy Young, and I'm not trying strikeouts though. 10 more guys that might be.
Larkin says 10 more guys like that, they'll beat the Dodgers.
Larkin. Very funny man.
So yeah, that's pretty much all the random news that's been going on. But the big thing that we are going to harp on is basically get everybody's perspective to include the chat on how the hobby was good to us or bad to us for 2024. And
so we start off with Magnus on this one.
We will start off with Magnus, but while we're talking about all this, I don't know if everybody was aware of it, but there was an interview that was done by Ryan from Car Collector 2, who actually talked to Mike Mahan, who's the CEO of Fanatics, and he gave his perspective, which we'll throw in every now and then. But yeah, starting with Magnus, how has 2024 treated you hobby-wise there, Magnus?
The same as every other year. My collecting never changes. So with the price, I mean, I will say with the prices increasing, there's a few restrictions on things I used to buy, but I mean, I don't buy any breaks and stuff. So the market hasn't affected my collecting all that much.
Okay. If you don't mind sharing, what are your collecting habits?
Japanese vintage, Japanese players in general, a lot of Japanese cards. So this year I will be getting into modern with Roki Sasaki. Okay. So my perspective probably will change quite a bit once I experience that for a while. Okay. But a lot of 90s stuff as well, set building. Do custom cards and stuff too.
So you wasn't really big on the whole Shohei when he came out. I know you dabbled a little bit with Yamamoto.
I mean, I collected Ohtani before the whole craze even started.
Yeah.
I collected Ohtani even when he was having Tommy Johns. I was collecting him. I was picking up PSA 10 rookie cards of his for $20. Like $20, people couldn't even get rid of him when he had Tommy John surgery. Mm-hmm. But then when he went crazy, I mean, what's a rookie card now? $250 for a 10?
Yeah, they come down a little bit, but
but it's like, I mean, I love Japanese guys, but I'm not spending that kind of money on those cards. That's crazy.
You have a limit when you're collecting a certain criteria.
Yeah, I mean, I always have a limit, and I don't do the whole prospecting thing too much as well. So, I mean, I always kind of stick to my own. I stick to my own way of collecting and always have. So,
Magnus just gave us a blast from the past. Those were the days of collecting $20 PSA 10s.
Yeah, I mean, that's what 2019 Ohtani rookies and 10s were $20.
Yeah. Oh man. So what are you looking forward to in 2025? Because like you said, you got
Roki Sasaki.
Roki Sasaki is going to be releasing.
That's it. That's the only guy I'm going for. It's too expensive to go after multiple new players. So I'm sticking with one guy.
Now, with that particular player, what are your limits in picking up his stuff? Are you sticking with just flagship or something else other than that?
I mean, I'd say at least has to be numbered. I don't really do base stuff too much because it's just there's so much of it out there. Mm-hmm. I mean, I will go after flagship, but like maybe one of like the Independence Days or something that's kind of tough to pull. I don't like to own stuff that literally 10,000 other people have. It's just not exciting to me. So I kind of handpick, but if I do, it's like Chrome or flagship or like maybe like a cool insert from Parallel from Finest or something. But there's not many new sets I like anymore because they're all kind of the same.
So if an opportunity to find a Roki Sasaki rookie in Cosmic or
Yeah, I mean, I think Cosmic's great. I mean, I'll buy
Okay.
singles. I won't buy the box.
Yeah.
I love the look of Cosmic, but I mean, what are those, like $400 a box?
ish.
That's
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, that's crazy.
Now,
And I'll do like the black refractors from like Heritage and stuff. Those are really nice. So
Right.
real
like
quick,
the
I want
kind of
to
unique
ask
stuff.
Magnus something, piggybacking off what I was mentioning, where how I stick to the my order, whether it's Bowman,
Mhm.
Bowman Chrome, and then Draft, and then I go to Flagship and Finest and Heritage. That's my like top 5.
Yeah.
If you had, let's say, the $100 budget and the cards were $50 to $100 for his card, whoever the player is, do you have a specific order you go to first to see the prices, or do you just go, okay, I'll spend a little more, I'll go over budget because I want this release and that's something I love, like the Bowman's Best, because it's what you like?
Yeah, I
Do you
mean,
have something like that?
I overspend on 90% of the stuff I buy anyway. If
Yeah.
I like it,
All
I'll
of us
pay
do.
whatever it is to get it. So
Gotcha. Okay, but you don't have a list of like your top 3, like go-to releases for whatever player it may be because you like the release consistently, like the Father's Days and the Mother's Days or the Independence Days, or the Black.
yeah, I mean, probably like a chrome, a rare, like a gold chrome or something.
Yeah, the golds,
Probably go like something after that. Or I really like the black refractors from Heritage. That's one of my favorite ones to go for.
Yeah.
But like Flagship's nice, but I like the chrome because they pop more.
Gotcha.
Nate's got a question for you there, Magnus.
Lots of oh yeah. I've been collecting NPB cards for 10 years, so tons of guys. The cards over there in Japan, they remind me closer to what the 90s are. They just pop a lot more, so I collect a lot of that stuff.
Okay. So is it safe to say if an opportunity presented itself to see Sasaki on a Dynasty 1 of 10, is that something in your near future?
Eventually, for the first few years, probably not, because it's going to be a crazy price.
Yeah.
So, for example, I'll just show you a couple of Sasaki's Japanese cards, show you how the inserts look. That's what I've been collecting for a while. So you have something like this, which is an insert.
Wow.
Nice.
A Sasaki. And then like something like that.
Yeah, those are nice.
Now there's another
see the back of
Japanese
those?
phenom that's supposed to be coming out in products next
Yeah,
year.
Munetaka Murakami.
Nope, not that guy.
another-
Saharu. If I'm not mistaken, Saharu. I think he's got like
Saharu.
800 documented home runs.
Oh, you're thinking of Saraharu.
Oh.
You're thinking of the
Who the hell? Sadaharu O?
yeah, you're thinking of he hasn't signed in a product for Topps, but he's going to have like some really rare ones. I think Enfuego mentioned maybe.
Yeah, I mean I've seen those. They look okay, but the price tags those cards are going for.
Yeah,
I'd rather just pick up an autographed baseball of his.
Yeah.
For like a third of the price. And the other thing is that, have you seen the size of the stickers on those cards? They cover up 3/4 of the card. the thing's hideous looking.
Wow.
I want to spend $2,000 for a large sticker? No, I'm good.
Okay. So overall, with the hobby, whether you're into it or not, with the bounties, with all the types of releases, all the functions and events that Fanatics came up with, all the gimmicks, if you had to rate it from 1 to 10, 1 being piss poor, 10 being outstanding, how you think Fanatics did in 2024?
Like a 2 out of 10.
Okay.
I mean, some of the stuff is okay, but most of the stuff that comes out now is just the same recycled stuff they've been doing for decades. While it still looks nice, there's no creativity to it. There's nothing unique about it. It's the same stuff they've done in the past. And even the stuff they're re-releasing, it doesn't even look good as the original stuff they've done in the past. And the price tag's 3 times as much. So for me, it's not, I mean, it's not terrible, but just, I don't know. To me, it seems lazy. I mean, they're increasing the prices and decreasing the quality of the cards. I don't like the path it's going down, but I mean, I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful it improves next year.
Okay.
But I just think for how much they're increasing prices, they should improve on the quality of the cards and actually put out something that looks pretty sick. I mean, there's some cool stuff out there, but like Gilded Collection looks amazing. But what is that? Almost $1,000 for 4 or 5 cards.
And it's just every variation of a different gold.
Yeah, and it's just a gold refractor with some etching and stuff in it. I mean, it looks good, but they need to amp up the quality of the cards for sure. Like take after what Pacific did in the 90s and all those guys back then. If they improved the quality of the cards that reflected the price of the boxes, I think people wouldn't be as upset if they don't get a monster hit because all the cards look sick.
Right.
But that's just my opinion.
Okay. Respectable. What about you, Arnie? Whip out the scroll. We know what's coming.
I guess I'm just going to be optimistic here because I'm just a card collector. I'm a fan. You know, I have a hard time with small comments and no substance behind them, and it's nothing directed towards one person or the next, but I'm guilty of it too. I want to stay away from the general comments because I don't collect that card or that set, but just what I've recognized, with the scale of, Magnus gave it 2.
Damn right.
A lot of product, and there's nothing wrong with all of our different, opinions. It's all good. It's all helpful, but I'm going to go with 3 positives. One is the redemptions. Now, say what you want about the past. The past is the past. I've dealt with it for many, many years, and it's much better. There's no question. That is one area that's improved. Customer service, you can actually speak to someone at TOPPS now versus calling in the morning, sitting in a queue like PSA does, and good luck. So the customer service side, the returns for damaged cards, the time to get a redemption back. Now there's those cases that you see online where, I have this Mike Trout 1 of 1 and so and so and so. Right. That's the one-off case, and that's what gets the clicks, and it's popular. But the reality is they're pumping out hundreds and thousands of redemptions weekly. So my most important thing I'd say is the card stock. Now, I don't know why they did this. I could play devil's advocate and say they made the card stock thinner for the hit cards like the Bowman Chromes. But they made them the same thickness for 24 Bowman and 24 TOPPS Chrome. So the mega boxes that people used to weigh, and it was real dicey to buy unless you bought a case. You can feel more confident now if you only have a budget of $50 and you can go get yourself a mega box knowing that someone didn't weigh it. And the average collector that does go on eBay that doesn't have a LCS and wants to buy a Bowman, and they love those Mojos and mega packs, whatever they're called, they can do that with confidence now. So whether they do that to save money, I like the fact that it's the same thickness. You can't weigh the cards. It'll fit in a standard size sleeve. You don't have to buy different top loaders. The other positive would be, thinner standard size slab for PSA and SGC and CGC or wherever those grading companies are after those top 2. I think those 3 are really my positives, and my negative would just be stop messing with tradition, because our generation, this is it. We have the disposable income, the 28 to 58 age gap, buying all this stuff. Whether you collect vintage and the modern's garbage and you don't like the shiny stuff, it's all propped up by the same thing. Modern goes away, so does your vintage. It all goes down. So we're all collectors, and they need to start listening to customers, period. I don't care how they interview Jeff and all these big guys that have thousands of subscribers and a big presence in the hobby on the YouTube world. The reality of it is, go to a show. Send a representative to a show, a local show. If you don't have a show near you, then fly a city away. Send a representative every quarter to a local card show and just sit up there and just chat, talk with people. It's the most easiest thing is to ask a collector a question. They'll talk your ear off. They love it.
Yeah.
We love the hobby. Listen to the collectors. They have to do something there. They have to set something up for us to get our voices heard when we hear things like, we're getting rid of the best release we've seen and that surprised us in 2021 with the worst QC and a 700 card checklist. That set took me 2.5 years to build, and I built everything. So it's just improved year after year, and then they're going to take it away from us. You gave us dog crap and it tasted okay, but we're like, oh, this is still kind of crap. Then you improved it, then you knocked it out the park, and then you're going to take it away. I can't. I just can't. I can't go through the swings of emotions anymore. Topps needs to listen to us. Listen to the collector, not just the guy that has a lot of clicks and a lot of followers on social media. There's so many ways to reach collectors, and that's my only because I'm not going to point out different releases and QC and this and that.
Right.
We can go on forever about every release and this guy got this, or did you see that? The majority of the people, we're going to still buy stuff, but just listen to the damn collectors. That's my number one want for 25.
Okay. So before I pass it off the mic, I just want to go ahead and point out, I like how Arnie, by design, came up with an age range to fit Mike into that equation.
I'm out of that equation. I'm 59.
At least he tried.
Mike,
I
do.
I don't have. I don't know. Yeah, like Beast put in there. What the hell is disposable income? I don't know what that is. I mean, it
doesn't matter the money though, whether it's a blaster a week or a month.
Yeah. I kind of set aside like $50 a week to get into a break or something like that, or go surfing on eBay and trying to find some PSA 10s that are relatively good value with the players markets might be down, or people that I think might go up and get some PSA 10s for like $10 or less. That's where I'm at. What it comes down to for 2024, I think it was the overproduction of some of the product, and then having the cojones to raise the price on the products. That was the first like downfall for me. Now, I have not bought a hobby box for myself this year at all. First year ever that I have not bought a hobby box. I bought some hangers. I bought that super box for myself, but I'm just going more to the way of buying in the breaks and supporting the Cardmunity, and hopefully I get my Phillies for the sets and stuff like that. Like Arnie said, the platinum anniversary and the rumors of that not coming back next year, I think it was probably the best product for the actual collector, or actually somebody that could go out and buy a blaster box, get a couple of parallels and a chance of an autograph, because I think the autographs are coming out of there much faster than the hobby box, or at least at a better rate price comparison wise.
Right.
On card too.
Yeah, on card. 3, you could get 4 or 5 or 5 blasters for the price of a hobby box, and you would almost guaranteed, well, I wouldn't say guaranteed, but you would get an autograph, maybe 2, plus the amount of parallels that came out of there was ridiculous.
I think that having the old players and the new players is also key to get a lot of those players, that because there's players just like let's say Magnus only collects 1 player, or Enfuego has his top 2. He still wants those cards from the new releases of A-Rod. Hey, A-Rod's in that product. He has an exclusive subset, or he has this or that, whatever the player is. So I think that kind of met all the criteria. It was chrome. It was on-card auto. It was affordable. It had color. It had a trim down set from 700 to 500, so it improved.
And it has the eye appeal.
And the eye appeal is great because it's a retro year based on the archive, whatever design it's going to be this year, 53, 54, etc.
The good things that they did. I actually thought I was going to miss a lot of the products that they cut out for this year, as far as Gypsy Queen, Gallery, Fire, stuff like that was relatively affordable. The only time that I missed them is when products started when there was a gap between releases.
Yeah.
And there wasn't product to buy into breaks or something like that, and people were doing older stuff, which is fine. I'm fine with the older stuff too. But that new run of product just seemed to stop. It was like, I think it was like in years past, you would have a little bump in the beginning, and then the summer would be slow, and then as soon as September hit, it would always start with like fire, gallery, everything would come flying out in September, October, November, and into December. So there was like 4 months where new product was coming out just about every 2 weeks, and there was new breaks to get into and stuff like that. So I do miss that aspect of it. As far as their quality control, I think it's gotten a lot better. With limiting the product so they can focus on the product that they have. They're not just spitting out new product and everything like that. I do like the way Archives looks this year coming up with a variety, with the inserts having a variety of years in there. It's kind of a little bit more like Panini Chronicles, which is good, but the price, $154 a hobby box right now. I mean, if it was 119, 129, yeah, that's fine. But I think as far as I always look at a break, I want to keep it at around $20 a team with shipping. Well, those days are over. I mean, it's just not going to happen. I just have to come to the realization, everybody else does, that a good price for a team now is $25 with shipping.
But you're adjusting to that, like Magnus said. He'll adjust if needed by either going up or down. Right. To get whatever said card he wants.
And again, 9 out of every 10 breakers, when they set up breaks, they price it to incorporate a small profit of some sort.
Yeah, I pretty much just want to cover supplies.
Your profit is covering the supplies and shipping.
Yeah. That's what it comes down to. It's not a business for me.
Exactly.
I just want to get cards out to the card community. Pluses this year, Stadium Club is amazing this year. The way they did the parallels, love it. They should have done it a long time ago instead of just the Stadium Club highlighted in a black or a red or something like that. I like the retail version from the fat packs, adding the pink parallels in there. Holiday with the different types. I have like 5 different types of holiday sets to complete now. I got the red border. I got the blue the blue metallic or the blue shiny card. That's another one. So it's kind of very intriguing to try to figure out all the parallels and everything else in there. Allen and Ginter was really good this year too. Allen and Ginter was, I wouldn't say really good. I would say it's the same as every year. Allen and Ginter is Allen and Ginter.
There's really no change.
Yeah. I mean, 3 hits per box.
And I think that's great when you said, like Enfuego said, no change. Like you don't need change. The change is the players.
You don't need to change anything.
The change is the checklist.
Try to fix it.
Yeah. I would like to see them. I would like to see them come up with something new. I don't know what it would be. But I always said that why don't they do something like Chronicles, and Arnie always says the same thing. It's going to cost too much to do that set. Throw in some like Gypsy Queen and some Fire and some Gallery, the stuff that we're missing, and throw it into kind of like a Chronicles format.
Yeah.
But but the way they are, it's like, okay, how much is it going to cost us? How much are we going to make on it? How much do we have to charge for it? Right. So then it could be something that blows up to $300 for a hobby box.
And I don't like that. And they actually did that recently with the new TOPPS football product. I forgot the name of it, but basically what they're doing is composite. They're basically just following Panini. I mean, the Kaboom calendar. Okay, who came out with it first? I don't know. I don't know. Nothing's original, like Magnus said. I just want them to come up with something different.
Yeah, I would say the one thing they did that was good was Cosmic Chrome. I really like the design of that. That seems a little unique. Everything else is kind of recycled. Well, I mean, I'm not factoring in the price. I'm just talking about creativity on a set.
They're able to do it. They've proven they can do it.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, the price is way too much. But just from a designing perspective, I think they did a great job with Cosmic Chrome. Holiday was really good this year too.
Okay.
Holiday was fun this year.
Yeah.
Except the only downside was the SPs. They're all the same. There
Are they?
no
Yeah, I didn't know that.
SSP or super short print or anything like that. It was just like, because I opened up my holiday box. I shot a video for it. I didn't put it up because I sounded like an idiot when I pulled the Juan Soto, because he had like the bat and the necklace, and I'm like, oh wow, I've never seen this. This has got to be like a real super short print, not knowing that was the same card for every short print, pretty much.
Yeah. And he has other. They have other ones. It's just that the code is the same. So he has the antlers, and then he has the black top hat.
Oh, so they do, but the code's the same. Okay, that's
all it
interesting.
is. Yeah. So the light one may be the more rare one. I don't know how to differentiate though, because all three are the design. So you have the antlers, then you have the the top hat and the necklace for the bat.
So like 100 would be the base set. Then you have 225 as the regular short print. 226 is the super. And then 227 would be like the ultra rare variation.
That's what they did last year in Fuego, but this year it's all, I think, code like 155, and so they're all the same.
They're all the same code.
So the SPs are the same code, but they still have variants of cards. But last year they differentiated, but like you said, 5.6, 5.7, 5.8. That was nice because we can tell which one is the more rare or the tougher to get.
Okay.
But now it's just two numbers, the base code and then 155, I believe, is the.
But don't they have more parallels this year, or no?
With the different release, made it a little bit of like an exclusive or something to the one product.
I didn't really notice a difference in parallels and all that. You
got like the red blade and the tree borders.
Yeah, the one that has the holiday, the round ball that has the pack in there, the tin. It's like a 2-piece tin.
They do have one where you got to look for the elf, which is normally at the bottom right of the card.
Yeah, they do move them around though. So I think actually right here, I've got it right here.
Yeah, I've seen a few.
Because Corey hit the Rangers, so we were able to get. There we go. We were able to get the full run of all the variations. So this is the silver foil. This is just the base card right here. Here's the antlers coming out. And then this is code 155. The base is code 141. And then right here is 1 in 200 packs, which is basically 1 in a 20 box case. There's the little elf in the corner. I have seen this little elf over here.
Okay.
So it does move around. Now, I don't know if that's another variation or if you're, OCD collector like me and you have to have every single one. If this is your guy, do you go out and get the elf over here and is he over there? But yes, mainly he is in the corner and it's only on a handful of the top rookies. So it'll help you searching, and don't look on a base card of like a Juan Soto for the elf. It's not going to be there. Again, this code is 157. So the only difference is the mini elf is 157. All these other ones are 155. So, and this is the blue foil that comes out of the
the blue foil.
Yeah, which is pretty like a base card. It's the same thing, but it's just the blue foil design. Yeah, they're nice. It's just if you're doing a set, for me at least, it drove me crazy. I couldn't never again. It was tough.
Okay.
What a full set?
It's very busy. No, just like opening. I did a break. It's very busy background.
A lot of stuff going. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on in that background when you're.
Yeah. They do look good though. Like if it's a personal rip or something like that, or you want to build the set and look at the back and build them, that's great. But going through the cards slowly, like finding what to top load and what not to in a case format. No, it's
check out what Dilo just said.
Yes, the green. Yeah, the greens are to 5, I believe. Actually, you pulled a green and gave it away in Fuego in the break that we did. You had the Mariners, I think, and you got you got a Randy Rosarina, I believe, and you gave it away to somebody.
Okay.
It was out of 5. You donated it to somebody because he went to the Mariners and you had the Mariners and you said, just give that to Mark C. So yeah, we did pull one of those out of the case and I just thought it was to 99 and yeah, it's pretty cool. Out of 5.
Yeah, I do remember that. Okay.
But yeah.
You got any wish list for the upcoming year there, Mike, with the hobby?
I think it's the same as everybody else. Just don't gouge us on product. I guess this is the new norm and they're going to do what they want to do. But I'm going to do what I want to do too. This year, I'm going to buy the complete set of Series 1 and Series 2 when it comes out in that format. And then I'll build update for myself. I'll probably just go the hanger route next year, kind of like I did this year. I do have a lot of videos. I just haven't had time to upload them. So there's a bunch of hangers that I opened up. As far as just one wish, don't take away Platinum Anniversary. Everybody loves it. And just keep it the way that you were doing it with the hanger boxes, because every year Enfuego and I said, man, we should buy a case of hangers. We should buy a case of hangers. And we always regret it. Well, because the one year Enfuego had $900 tied up in it for 6 months before it released, you know, and that's, you know, that's a lot of money to have tied up for 6 months. But I don't know, maybe this year, I think we jump on a case of hangers and watch this year, the hangers, you know, be the worst format.
Well, keep in mind
because if Platinum does come out, they're gonna use the 1955 design,
right?
Which is a horizontal card,
23.
Right? Yeah, it'll all be horizontal.
And I'm still keeping my fingers and toes crossed. Hopefully, I get to see if they're gonna stop it after the 56 design.
Maybe they're working on something with like they did with Archives. We thought Archives was dead. Everybody did. Let's be honest. And then boom, here it is. Oh, they're coming back with that. That's what we said. Oh, that's coming out. So maybe this is their way of marketing. Maybe this is their way of leak out a story, which is fine. I get it. It's business. They do whatever they do to make some noise. Sometimes bad publicity is the best. And they see people freak out and they listen, and then they have their decision.
Yeah, because we were talking about that with the with Bonds in the 2025 flagship hobby. He's saying the price will probably be like $250 for it, and you know we were talking about that when we kicked off the show.
No, they won't sell for our hobby box. They won't sell any of it. No, but they make so much of that stuff, and it's actually probably being made right now.
If they start at 250, and once the second or third market gets their hands on it.
No,
I don't think it'll start that much because it's
got to be the same price range. It's the highest printed of the year. Yeah. God Beast, I hope to God you're wrong. I just hope you're still wrong.
Well, then what would a jumbo be?
450,
400?
Next subject, please.
450.
Yeah. Let's. I can't see a flagship hobby going that much.
Yeah.
No.
I just can't see it.
It's possible. I'm not doubting Beast. I'm just saying, God forbid that happens. I'm going to go nuts.
Yeah.
Okay. So for the most part, 75% of the panel were pretty consistent with what they've seen firsthand, what they've experienced firsthand, what they would like to see. I actually put a little bit of thought into it. Me and my 2 combat tours in the 4th grade brain. Okay. And a couple of the pros that I've seen that Fanatics has done, one would be how they're marketing. They've taken it to a whole new level. Okay. So for example, if everybody remembers early on in the year, they came up with the implementation of the Fanatics Live to run breaks. Okay. And then as releases started coming out, Fanatics would actually incorporate their own bounties for those chases, but at the same time, those bounties, it was a win-win for the individual that pulled the card. Yeah. And what I mean by that, for example, when Bowman first came out and they did the retrofractor, right? So if you pulled a Babe Ruth Bowman first, and that was the big chase. If you pulled it on the Fanatics Live, okay, not only would you get however much the bounty was, 50K, 100K, whatever the case may be, okay, you'll get that, and you still get to keep the card.
Oh, wow. Yeah. And I thought there was another thing for someone in the chat too. I saw recently where they're giving like $1,000 if you like someone in the break, that if the other 29 people for like, let's say it was a 30 spot break, there was someone else that would get a bonus in the break as well.
They would do a random person in the chat to win a little portion of a bounty as well. But that's how the bounties initially occurred early on in the year. Okay, so that's one. Number two, I do appreciate how And it was brought up in that interview with Mike Mahan and Card Collector how Topps began producing these top now cards, paying homage to those specific milestones. Like they did it with the Ronald Acuna 40-70 club. They did it with the Ohtani 50-50 club. You know, I can appreciate how they would come up with those types of sets or cards specifically to, I guess, establish some form of connection with the collector and the whether it be the player, it be the team, or it actually be the moment. You know, you'll have that individual who was actually there. Not only can they say they were there the moment Ohtani stole his 50th base, but now he rips into a box of Shohei 50-50 club and he happens to pull, you know, a relic of stolen base number 50 and say, I was there when this happened. Okay. The next thing that I appreciated them doing was the debut patches. Another form of connecting the collector with the player. And it's not just about the bounties and everything like that. So for anybody who happens to be like, let's just say a Brewers fan, and you know they just started investing or collecting Churio, you know, God bless you if you was that lucky one to pull that 1-of-1 MLB patch of Churio. So little things like that I can appreciate. The big thing that Fanatics did, and it's going to transition into my cons, Fanatics Fest. Okay, one, I like how they try to do a spin-off of the National with a little extra fat on the meat, you know, incorporating actual athletes. They did have, when they did it in the Jacob Javits Center, they had a UFC ring. So in case you're out there, you know, you're little Timmy and you're out there with your dad and dad don't want to buy you that $100 rookie card of whoever it is, and he says no, you know, Dad, can we go to the UFC ring so we can hash this out? Okay, so little things like that I can appreciate. Some of the bad things that happen. Fanatics Fest. They started in New York. They had a full-on schedule of locations where they were going to be. They never fulfilled them and used Mother Nature as a scapegoat to not fulfill the rest of their planned appearances. So during the time they were supposed to be in Orlando, we got hit with a hurricane, unfortunately. Okay, but just because a hurricane came by, who's to say, okay, 2 or 3 days after that, let's go ahead and make this appearance, because they were publishing advertisement, get your tickets early so that, you know, you could be one of the first to go to damn Fanatics Fest. Now they had to refund all that money back for all those purchased tickets, if tickets were even purchased.
Yeah,
you know, because we already know, because we've mentioned it here on the show earlier, that even during their inaugural appearance in New York, rumor had it they lost $20 million because they didn't get the fan base they expected. So
I just think they're not listening to fans. It's because the event may be great,
yeah,
but the location may be great or may not be great. There's other factors there. But you got to listen to the fans, because most collectors.
But here's the question that you got to ask yourself, though, Arnie. What fans are Fanatics listening to, and which ones they are disregarding?
Oh, exactly. Yeah, and that's where I think when
it's
I said
one
earlier,
thing if you came up, if you had an opportunity to sit with Mike Mahan, you gave him suggestions, and Jeff Wilson doing the same thing, who you think he's going to listen to more?
Well, I know that. I said we covered that earlier, where they need to listen to the actual card collector. Jeff is not a card collector. The guy doesn't know how to even put a card in a sleeve. The videos are out there. I could do that stuff in my sleep with my toes better than he can. So he's not a card collector. The way he handles the cards alone just screams fraud. Right. The guy's a fraud, period. I don't care who wants to defend him. He's a fraud, and he's not good for the hobby. He has a great platform and a chance to do awesome things, but it's even more sad that he chooses to go the route he does. And you know, he's a Billy Mays here. He's a pitch man.
Yeah.
You know, listen to the collector, set up at a show, talk to people, talk to the collectors. They used to have a Q&A at the National. So you actually would be able to go and sit down, and there's videos of that several years back, and you can actually watch people that would cover it and actually sneak a camera in, or, you know, film it if it was not allowed, whatever it is, put a phone in your pocket, top pocket, and then just, you know, listen away. But people would be able to ask questions, and whatever their questions was, they had something for them. That wasn't there last year. So you take away the collector's voice, you're going to have problems. Listen, all I'm saying is, you make a great point with, it is a different type of a venue. It is very cool. Would I go to it if it was in Cleveland? Yes. Would I fly to that? No. Am I going to go to the National and fly to Chicago next year? Yes, because I'm going to try to meet with other people and go to a Cubs game and meet all of you guys again, or new people, and hang out and go to a great card show. And if you have no money for cards, it's still awesome just to go and to look around, whatever the case may be. There's other things to do there.
That's what it's come down to, you know, kind of like what you said. You've got collectors who, you know, who take their collections to YouTube or whatever platform of their choice, and basically they use either the National or Fanatics Fest or whatever big event that is actually occurring for an opportunity to meet fellow collectors who do the same thing that they do, and they've actually met with on that platform.
Here's another thing I'll add to that. When I say a small show, I don't know, what do you call it? Little league, Pop Warner, whatever hockey is. I don't know what you call hockey for small, like kids and stuff. It's an ice rink that the ice is removed. The walls are up with the plexiglass, and picture an ice rink, even if it's a full size, what the professionals play on, and have 1, 2, 3, I think 4 rows of table, maybe back to back. So you'll have a row down the center with tables on the right, tables on the left, and then you have a far right aisle and a far left with just those tables backed up against the wall. But it's from one end to the other. SGC is going to be there. Orlando will be there. A lot of other guys that are in the vintage world that, you know, are in the Mangini will be there. All those guys, most of those guys are there, all make that content that we follow. Dave, Blue Jacket 66, some of these guys that have collections that span probably, I don't know, $500 to $1 million in some cases, and they show off some beautiful cards. And there's guys that have non-high dollar collections that still love vintage and just come to hang out. And that's happening here in Strongsville, which is like 15, 20 minutes from Cleveland. So in April, when that happens, I'll get to see all these guys again, which is great. But you're talking about guys that travel from California all over the country to a suburb in Ohio, right just outside of Cleveland, just to go to a vintage card show that's not that big, but it's amazing. It's nothing but vintage. You know, 99% of it's vintage. But the point being is that it's a great way to get together, and people are looking for things to get together with other people. They're looking for ways to do that. And as soon as TOPPS stops listening, or they don't take the opportunity to see what they have in front of them to listen to this, and if you think it's going to be these guys that are doing these breaks and doing this stuff that, you know, Card Collector 2 is doing on his scale and his level with his shop, that's such a small percentage. That's less than 1%. The hobby is not like that. And the majority of the hobby is not on YouTube. You go to a local card show and you mention YouTube, and the guy will look at you like you're nuts. You're like, what? And these are guys that have been collecting their whole entire life. You know, 30, 50 years they've been collecting cards.
Well, they're a special kind of breed, though, Arnie. I mean, they're still relying on Beckett to price out their cards, which is understandable.
And it's okay because guess what? I was at my LCS not too long ago, and their Beckett price guides are all right there, the annual, and that's great. Like if that's how you do it, that's great. If you come and you only do the vintage once a year, I can't do the national, but I will be at the Strongsville show, or I'm doing vice versa, whatever it is, or I'm going to come out to Enfuego's town, and they were going to go to the Florida trip, and we're going to meet up with LP, and then the weather thing happened, so that got kind of squashed quickly. But there's all that talk going on that I don't think Fanatics is aware of.
And that brings up a good point. TOPPS Rip Night.
Yes.
Okay. They talk about how big of a success those type of events are. And basically, for those of you who are not privy to what TOPPS Rip Night is basically when there's special events where you have an opportunity to go to your local LCS and they have a variety of events throughout a certain window, whether it be giveaways. They can do on-scene breaks. You have opportunities to meet athletic heroes. You know, my problem with that though is it's not spread as it should.
Well, here's the caveat to that that I found out. You have to, if you have a TOPPS account, you are required to do it. Period.
Right, but here's the thing.
Because a lot of shops don't have that TOPPS account, so they can do whatever they want. And if your shop doesn't have it, that means you don't have a TOPPS direct account because you have to follow the tote the line. You have to do that.
I've got that, but here's the thing though. Let's take Cards HQ for example. Okay, they have a TOPPS account, and it's like Fanatics made TOPPS Rip Night at Cards HQ the standard for all other LCSs as big or a little smaller to follow. I mean, who's to say, you know, my local LCS, you know, Bill and Ted's excellent LCS shop down here in Florida, who does have a TOPPS account, okay, they have to squat down and give birth to ideas to make Rip Night for the collectors in their community a memorable event.
I think that's a good thing though, in my opinion, because my shop basically takes literally racks of stuff out of the center on a dolly, puts them outside and tarps them because it's sometimes, you know, depending on the weather and everything, and then has a bunch of tables set up with some tablecloths, gives away the shirts, orders pizza, drinks, and then has a wheel to give away stuff. You got to spin it as soon as you come in, you know, no extra charge. And then they do they sell cards by the pack, and whoever has the most Indians cards in their pack, whether it's one card or two, you get the entire, you win a free hobby box of that same product.
The thing. That is LCS driven. That's the LCS owner coming up with ideas to make it memorable.
Right.
Okay.
But they actually have
what is Fanatics
reduced product for that.
What is Fanatics doing who is requiring all TOPPS account holders to hold these events, doing to support these LCSs that are not Cards HQ quality?
I think it's based on the owner, because I think it should be that way anyway. Despite having a TOPPS thing do it, I think a business owner, have a small business owner, which those most likely are, because we're talking about a card shop, a hobby shop.
Okay. A
customer appreciation thing has been going on for decades in many businesses and types of whatever, retail to whatever it is you're into, you know, hey, it's customer appreciation night. All the drinks are on us for 2 hours, whatever. We got food set out. Bars do it with, hey, we had a customer appreciation. We got food. We're opening up the pool tables and we got free drinks for an hour, whatever it may be. Everybody's been doing that. I think the requirement is basically just do something. Now, what scale? That's up to the owner. Now, if those owners are not doing that and not doing something for the customers, to me, as a small business owner for going on almost 20 years now, I think it's absolutely horrible if you're not doing something for your customers. That's what keeps your doors open, is the customers that keep coming back. So when you do a great job like that, and it doesn't have to be big. Throwing out $50, $100 in pizza and pop and some tables. And keep in mind, they also offer reduced price stuff or
Well,
they'll
you had me
offer
at pizza, but
product.
you lost me at pop. We don't drink pop where I'm from. We drink
No,
soda.
it's soda.
Right. But think about this. Anybody in the chat or and Mike and Fuego, Magnus, anybody that you go to and you see all the time, and you go once a month and spend $100. At the end of the year, it's over $1,000. That's your one customer. It's nice to get. Hey, I appreciate you coming in all the time. Here's a couple packs of top loaders. Go grab yourself a hobby box for your kid, or grab a blaster box. What do you want? Merry Christmas. That's all great stuff.
And that brings a good point. Magnus, on your side of Florida, are there any LCSs that you have access to?
Nope. We've
None at all.
we've had 3 open up in the last 10 years, and they all closed down within 6 months.
Yeah.
Okay. So when they were open at the time, were they doing anything going above and beyond for their clientele?
I wouldn't really know. I never went in because they were more like breaker based. So
Okay. So like,
could you go in and it's like I've been in the shops a couple times, but like most of it's like autograph memorabilia, and then the card side of stuff they do have is just all like hobby boxes and stuff they use for breaks. So for me, I'm not going to a card shop to buy hobby boxes. I'm there to look at singles, and the shops didn't really have those.
Mm-hmm.
So it just didn't work for me.
okay.
Yeah, I think they're going for a lot more of the low hanging fruit. Buy a box for 100, sell it for 120, move it in, move it out, versus buy a card, buy a collection, grade it, look through the cards, see what you need to grade, all that stuff, price it, market it. Whether it's at the store, eBay, rotate inventory. There's all those things that go with it. A lot of shops are definitely geared towards that now, but that's just a business thing for them. They're not so much the collector base. We go in and we want to see, a box full of cheap stuff, a box full of expensive stuff, a case full of graded cards, a case full of vintage, and a nice mix of basketball, football. I don't collect that, but I love to see a shop that has a nice mix of everything. So
yeah, I mean, they mostly just had ultra modern. So
yeah, here's a good.
It's a good comment from Spintex. His LCS is awesome. They've been around, forever and a day. They had Shaq come by and him actually offering to help get their name out there. They kindly declined, because they just like to keep it local, which is very respectable.
That's good.
Not many LCSs do that.
Oh, I mean, he lives in a very popular city in California, so it's not surprised that they're
and then you got
crazy
Nate.
busy.
They have a free trade night once a month usually. They have a small card show every other month with 30 tables, $20 a table. Lots of giveaways.
That's great. You don't even need to be a dealer. You can just, hey, I want to get a table, and just drop down the money and sell some cards and trade. See, that stuff is the stuff that I don't think. I mean, I'm hearing some of this going, wow, that's awesome. I love that. But I don't see that on the internet because it doesn't drive the needle, guy stole cards and gets body slammed through a trade table. That's getting the clicks, not guy spends $20 and has a great time and meets 5 new collectors and made awesome trades at a trade night at a local show that he never knew existed. That's not a story. That's just the way the world is these days. But it happens. It's out there. It's just we don't hear about it. Fanatics is not whether they care or don't care. I don't know.
Right.
But that's the stuff that I think when I say I group everything together in my comments, saying they need to listen to the collectors. They need to listen to the actual people that are buying this product. That's all.
With that statement you just made, that they need to listen to the collectors, I want to go ahead and bring up another point that I want to get everybody else's take on. So during that interview with Mike Mahan and Ryan, Mike was talking about the method behind their madness when it comes to products is they want to make products. They want to have it to where there's something for everyone. And that could be taken in so many different ways. So what you're telling me is you're going to keep the flagships accessible for not only set collectors, more seasoned collectors, and even the younger generation, anything above flagship, I expect those with deep pockets to only get into those.
I think they need to be. Here's the problem with all those interviews in Fuego, and I'm sorry for jumping in all the time. Just tell me to shut
no
up.
worries.
Everyone's afraid. Those are all scripted. I love Theo Vaughn. Theo Vaughn is a great podcaster. I enjoy his content. I just love listening to the guy. He cracks me up. He was able to interview Donald Trump. Do you think he was able to ask his questions off the cuff like he always does, talking to another comedian or another guy that comes
Probably
in?
not.
No, right. So it's the same thing. Those are all scripted questions. I don't want to listen to that. I can't stomach that stuff. It's as bad as Peter, that guy from SGC that would sit at that big, huge desk like he was in the Oval Office and give those. Today we have an important message. It's like the cringe level that the kids say, cringe, that word, it makes me sick to my stomach. The guy, and now the guy's gone away. He can't say nothing because daddy owns you now, and now he's got to keep his mouth shut.
That whole interview was completely scripted.
100%. All the questions were 100%.
Okay.
I'd bet my life on it. And my
the
daughter's
questions
life.
may be scripted, but what are your
There's
thoughts
no
on the responses given?
It doesn't matter about the response. If you give me a response, right away, any question, any topic you bring up, everybody in this panel right now and in the chat can come back with a rebuttal, can come back with a question. That's conversation. You can't have that with these guys. If he says something like, this is how I take it, right away, Enfuego thought he took it like this. I would say, well, maybe Mr. Enfuego, why don't we just ask the question and we'll get the answer? Are you making this a category, $300 and below, and then 500 and up? What is the range that you're talking about? That's an instant follow-up question to a great question that now turned into a horrible question and fell flat, and it's more smoke and mirrors and BS. We don't want to hear it. It's like asking the same question 3 different ways and you still didn't answer it. It's a politician answer. It's answer the question. It's a yes or no question, deserves a yes or no answer. Well, let me see. If you think about this, it's like, I can't do it, man.
Okay, so let's just dive a little deep into this rabbit hole. Let's just say both the question and response was actually legit, authentic, and original.
Even if I don't like it, I have to accept it, like Mike said earlier, and I have to pivot. I have to go buy this product or save more money because I can't buy these boxes at $20 anymore. It's not the reality of things.
To a certain extent, there is validity in that response.
There is, but there's no. I guess we're just missing the key element, which is, if you're going to make a statement like that, what is the baseline? You're clearly coming up with something.
Because if you think about it, flagship, okay, it's spread amongst LCSs, and it's also spread in a retail format. Same with Stadium Club. Platinum Anniversary has done it, and there's a few other products that's done it as well. But now, what about those products that don't have other formats?
Yeah, I mean, Fanatics' number one thing is direct to consumer. They're great at marketing. That's their game. That's what they've done for many years prior to acquiring TOPPS. So, I don't know if we call that the online exclusives like Ginter X we just talked about today. Is that the example? But Ginter X has been around before they bought TOPPS.
Yeah.
So again, it's like we have other questions with that same question, and they're all really good. Yes, it's great to hear something, but if it's always leaving me with more questions, Jeff didn't do a good job, and neither did what's the kid's name? The Card Collector 2 kid, whatever his name is.
Ryan Johnson?
Yes. So, and again, is it their fault? No, they have to walk that. They can't go out there and start bashing TOPPS. I mean, let's be honest.
They want to safeguard their reputation and their account.
Exactly. And I get that. So I know going in, my expectations are low. So yeah, to back up your point, what you asked me is, when you ask a good question, I would expect a good answer. And it doesn't have to be the answer I want I wish you would have said this. That's not what I'm talking about. Ask a great question. Let's hear a great answer, whatever it is. Let's hear a great answer. Let's hear something with some substance that we can all go, you know what? That really sucks. I'm probably going to have to change the way I collect, but at least I know where I'm going. Right now, I just have more questions, and that's where those guys lose me. And when I say they need to talk to the average collector, because there's so many of them out there, and the place to go do that is, I think, just any card show and just listen to people.
Do you agree with that, Magnus?
Well, they did that in the 90s, and look what happened to them. So
Yeah, good point.
I don't know. I agree. They need to listen to an extent, but let's be real. The breakers are what keep stuff thriving. To be honest, that's where they make all the money, and that lets them to be able to produce all this stuff. Whether we don't like it,
they go through.
I mean, whether we don't like it or not, I mean, the breakers are where the bulk of the money comes from. If they weren't around, it'd be a repeat of the late 90s, early 2000s.
Okay.
And how many people would still be around if, everything's not popular and stuff's not worth a ton of money?
Yeah.
People would start fizzling out again.
It would be that the Tetris effect when the game gets a little faster and you stack up on top of you're like, oh, I should have slid it over here. Three plays later, which is 3 years later of releases, stuff starts to sit. The guy that has 20 boxes has 100.
At the same time, with the way prices are going, people are fizzling out anyway. So
do you think we'll see that pushback after draft being still on the site? Is draft still up there today for $529 or $519?
I mean, I think I looked at David Adams as like $520. That was the on sale price.
Yeah. But I think this, not even the third party or the secondary guys like David Adams, it's still on the top site. That's a product that sells out within days and hours. Now we're seeing it weeks later, and now they're soliciting LCSs for second and third offerings now at a lower price.
That's the one thing I do like about breaking, though, is like those really expensive products, like someone who doesn't want to spend $600 on a box of cards, get into a break like yours for $50 and have a chance to experience that box. Yeah. So there are some upsides to it.
Yeah, I think we just have to really, like Enfuego said, enjoy how you collect. What did he say? Whatever your cup of tea, whatever he said, whatever you like. Yeah, just do that. And if something changes,
collect what you like.
Yeah,
don't follow what everyone else is doing, and you'll enjoy it a lot more.
And that's what makes the hobby interesting. Not everybody follows suit on their collecting habits. Three of you guys, y'all, if you have an opportunity, you'll build the set. Me personally, I don't give a damn about the set. Just give me my players. Okay.
I mean, I like both, but I get what you're saying.
And then there's going to be certain products that 2 out of the 4 of us will be like, I'm not touching with a 10-foot pole. Then there's one of us out of the 4 that be like, I'll go ahead and break a box for myself. I'm not going to mention Arnie, but there's a person that's going to break a box for themselves. And then there's just me. I'm just going to cherry pick my players, and that's what makes it. That's what makes the whole hobby the way it is now. And the thing is, you've got a lot of these so-called influencers that pretty much tell you how to collect, what to collect, who to collect, what you need in order to collect. And if you plan on using the items that I suggested, make sure you use the promo code that was given to me so that I could get a piece of the pie.
Yeah. I mean, and I'm all for people making money. Like I don't think that's a bad thing, because at least as a consumer what you're up against. Hey, he's charging me for this. Here's what I'm going to get, and here's my risk, and here's my reward potential. Correct. That's all we care about. Right. But it's these unknowns and these huge swings of, oh, did you see what happened here? Did you see this? Did you see that? That's where you're going to lose people. So I don't know if that's even necessarily listening to collectors. One thing I did find out, and I'll keep this as short as possible, is big companies don't care what people think. They get paid millions of dollars to make mistakes, and then they go out and roll them out and fix it. Wendy's was a big one. Remember, this was 3-4 weeks ago, maybe 2 months ago. They were going to raise the prices during peak hours. Okay. Right away, I said, okay, they're going to raise the prices during peak hours. Everybody blasted them all over the internet, and they put the e-brake on so fast. And I said, what they should have said is, we're going to reduce the cost during these late night hours so we can maybe compete with Taco Bell, which there's a Wendy's next to my Taco Bell. And that made more sense. So it's a little give and take, right? No, they just said, we're doing this. We're going between 3:30 and 6:30, prime time, when people are getting out of work, don't have time, need to grab something quick to eat, feed a family, whatever it is, get some food. Peak hours, we're going to raise prices. Are you nuts? The whole world went crazy, meaning the whole internet went crazy, and then they never rolled it out. But that's what these guys get paid to do, make mistakes. Yeah. They make mistakes, they roll things out, and they live with the consequences and get paid to fix them. That's just how it goes in big corporate America. From politics to local government, it's just what happens. We make a problem, then we create the fix, or create the problem which already has the fix in our back pocket. It's the same thing with these big corporate guys getting millions of bucks to never listen to consumers and go, how is this even a product, or how is this rolled out, or why is this any good? And we shake our head going, $200 for this? This box was 119 2 years ago. And it's like, that's up 60%.
Kind of sounds like an issue we ran into with our first case of platinum, Mike.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you've seen the interview, Mike, and we talked about it briefly early on in the week. What are your thoughts about the whole Q&A?
With what? With just Topps or Fanatics?
Well,
the video
with the questions that Mike Mayhem was asked and his responses. Because apparently, according to Arnie, and I'm not saying that it's a bad thing or Arnie is wrong, but in his mind, he feels it was scripted.
I don't know if it was so much scripted, but I think
privy to the list of questions. That's what I meant to say.
Yeah.
Here's the list I'm going to ask.
I think it was scripted in that way. It's like, okay, Card Collector 2 probably had like 40 questions, and then Mike said, okay, well, you can ask me these 12, and I can give you answers on these 12.
Yeah.
So,
right.
But I don't think the whole thing was scripted, but I think the
questions
were kind of scripted, where he went through them and said, okay, these are the ones that I will answer.
Yeah. Poor choice of words.
Ones.
Yeah. Good point, Mike. Good way to clarify, because my brain doesn't always do that. Well said.
And I don't know if they were.
And again, I'm fine with that. I'm totally fine with that, because I know going in that Theo Vaughn's not going to get real questions and ask about Trump and you like to do cocaine, and I partied a lot. I'm a recovering drug addict, and this is my show, and I had a hard time with rehab. Of course, you're not going to get that from him. But what you're going to get is, okay, I'm fine with all of that. It's just there was not the follow-up like Enfuego said. Like, that was an opportunity right there to really dive into a topic and have a conversation. It's more of a questionnaire. I ask, you answer, and we go to the next one. That to me is not an interview.
I got that vibe that it was a scratch the surface type of interview.
Yes. And again, if that's all you can get, it's better than we had 5 years ago.
Yeah, I'm actually surprised he got an interview with them. That's
exactly. So I have to play. I have to also be positive and say, not positive, but I also have to be transparent and say, hey, at least we got something.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
I'm just being realistic. It's just, and again, it's nothing against Jeff or whatever that kid's name is. I keep forgetting his name.
Ryan Johnson.
Yeah. Ryan Johnson. Nothing against those guys, because listen, however the kid got his money, I never begrudge somebody. If his dad had a bunch of money, or his dad was broke, or he borrowed money, it doesn't matter.
Because to be honest, there is nothing Card Collector 2 is doing or has done that some kid like Ethan, for example, Ethan's Cards and Collectibles is doing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's the same thing, and good for him. Listen, he's got to get up every day and go hustle and get on a plane and go to shows and buy cards.
I mean, he's a
scout out inventory.
He's a teacher, for Pete's sake.
Yeah, all those guys have to do that. He doesn't even have a Topps account. He's got to go buy that stuff from brokers and dealers and make connections and get allocation from other people through other people. It's a grind, and good for him for doing it at whatever level. Whether you have tons of money and you're wealthy like Jeff portrays to be, or he is. That's all great. Listen, Jeff's shop is great. It's a new card shop. It's more people in the hobby. Whether we like it or not, I just don't like his content. I don't like him personally, but another card shop is awesome. Mm-hmm. That's all I do know. I think it's great. I always say, like, every time I say something bad about him, it's like, I think it's a missed opportunity to really use his platform in a little bit better way, but that's my opinion.
Okay, real quick, breaking news.
Yeah.
Okay, prayers and condolences going out to Brandon and his family.
Isn't he in one of the group chats or no?
He is in one of the group chats. Yes.
Yeah, I'll say maybe create a second one and keep it kind of quiet. I know one of our friends that had a dad pass away. Just create another group chat. Just keep the noise down on his end. That might be a good thing.
Yeah,
because I think you can actually go into that list and just remove one of the people,
or just build.
Easier.
If you want to be an asshole and build a whole new group,
Yeah.
but exclude all the ha ha he he comments.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Appreciate you
Just a thought,
sharing
just a
that with
thought.
us, there, Beast.
Yeah, I
But,
found out a little bit earlier today. I just didn't want to. I mean, I found out just as the stream started. So
yeah. But
just
for the
wanna
most part, I
reach out
mean,
to 'em.
I think it's a safe assumption to say we're all pretty much on the same sheet of music. We've identified where TOPPS and Fanatics fell short. We identified where they actually excelled. And I think we can actually go out on a limb and say what we expect for them to do to make the hobby better for everybody, you know, because I'm still waiting for them to actually 10x the hobby for the collector.
Yeah. And again, that's something that they're going to hang on to when you make a statement like that. I mean, when LeBron said 3, not 4, not 5, 6 championships, you know, people hang on to that. They expect you're the big dog. You're expected to perform when you say something like that. So
Right.
I think you're 100% right. We just want good things. That's all.
Yeah. I mean, if you as a figurehead in the hobby, because right now the hobby is being driven by what goes on in your head. Okay. When you're coming up with these ideas, include not just your alleged influencers, because they're constantly putting content out or whatever the case may be. Think about that collector who does not show their collections on the resources that we have here today.
Yeah.
You know, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, or you know, even these little card collecting databases like Market Movers, Card Ladder, things like that. Keep them in mind. Put yourself in their shoes, okay? And what is it that you would like to see for the better of the hobby to help give you a better experience in your collecting?
I'll say this too. One thing that it's definitely not the same, but it is close. It is like politics where, well, I'm not voting for that because I don't like that, or I'm not voting for that because I don't have kids. I used to think that way when I would hear things about tax increases and a school levy, which raises your property taxes. But the reality is you live in a good city and you have good schools. Guess what? That happens. It builds families, communities, and it builds home values. So you have to understand that although it may not be what I like, it's really hard to do what Enfuego said in life in general is, okay, this may not be good for me right here with this product, but they're going to do good things with these products. I can live with that. I don't like it, but I understand the reason behind it. And I think that's what a lot of us don't do. Me, I'm definitely probably guilty of at some rate or level, whatever the topic is. But that's just an example of, well, I don't want to pay that. I don't have any kids. Why should I have to do this? Why should I have to do that? Right. Well, I get that. But there's also benefits to having those kids in your community. And, they're going to do a rec center. They're raising the tax. Oh, that's nice too. Well, I don't swim. I don't use. Okay, I get that. But you're one person not looking at the whole thing.
Well,
that's what we don't do.
For me, being 100% disabled, I'm excluded from property taxes. But that's another story.
This guy right now.
But yeah, I mean, hopefully we see nothing but improvement going forward. You know, I would love to see Magnus his expectations of grabbing as many Japanese players in 2025 to add to his collection, so that way we could actually get more videos out of Magnus. He's being too cheap, and you know.
I will say this though, he has done some lives with some really cool custom cards, and I just happen to be on YouTube, and getting notifications really sucks sometimes for people that we follow.
To know more, I would like to know that Magnus is more popular than just his mystery packs.
Oh, and he definitely is.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, I don't care about popularity on here. I've started my channel over 5 times now, so it's not the big deal to me.
The lives are fun. I love the lives. I love the impromptu lives, random Saturday afternoon. For everybody in the chat too, whatever you've got going on, you don't have to buy cards to make content.
No, you really
throw
don't.
out some cards, talk about something. whatever it is, make content. You don't have to show your face if you're on the fence about.
Even if you just want to talk
whatever.
about the damn hobby.
Yes, anything. Just hit the live button and hit play. Just hit live and turn the camera on around or whatever, face it forward and wait, see who jumps in.
But
you
if
only
you
have
really
one or
want
two
to
people
feel
to have a
gutsy,
conversation.
if you want to feel gutsy and you have an itch that needs to be scratched, do not do what Magnus and Arnie is doing right now. They're excluding their mean mugs. I'm just saying, because right now I think Arnie is. I think Diamond Princess has paved the way that Arnie is following. Just a matter of time before we see his face.
That's funny.
Just throwing that out there. But other than that, you know, I do appreciate everybody spending time and listening to complaints, wish lists, gripes, constructive criticism, and I do appreciate everybody in the chat who provided some form of value into the chat so that everybody can because again, we've got 23 people in here right now. That is 23 different perspectives on where the hobby has been the last 12 months and where the hobby should go or needs to go in the next 12.
Yeah, and you can also learn a lot too from other people. It's free. This is all free, especially stuff where people got the shorter end of a deal. That's valuable stuff that you don't have to pay for, and free advice is the best.
Absolutely. So, with the last 10 minutes, we're gonna go ahead and go around the horn. Magnus, is there anything that you got coming up potentially in the near future?
Not until Roku Sasaki comes out. So I assume he won't be in Series 1 whenever that comes out.
Right.
But when does Series 2 normally come out?
July.
Probably around.
All right. So you'll see a video in July.
Yeah.
Okay. Arnie, what about yourself?
Archives is the 8th, you said?
Arnie doesn't even know it. He just goes live and then a break sells out in 5 minutes. Like, tune in. It's like, what's going on?
I think I'm going to try to get a case of Archives, half a case for the Friday lives on the Friday show, and then send half the case to Mike. And then I'm doing this with everybody listening, so he can't back out. And then have him do the break. Have him do a break.
Welcome to the chat there, Matthew.
I think
I'll do the break. That's fine.
Yeah. I think it'll be fun.
I don't mean to cut you off there, Arnie, but we've got a newcomer, Matthew. He's been in the hobby now for 4 months and he loves it.
Awesome. That's all
great.
that
That's
counts,
really
man.
to hear.
That's great. Hope to have you around. Follow and another thing too, guys. Follow anybody in the chat. If you have the wrench next to your name, you can click on anyone's name and then just subscribe and then jump back to us. Whenever anyone's live, anybody that you see that you're having a conversation with in the chat, even if they don't make content, just go give them a subscribe, because all of it kind of works together with everybody in the card community. If I post something and I get a couple people commenting, it goes to other people that they follow or follow them.
Awesome,
that we don't necessarily know who they are, and the more people, the better is what's fun about this hobby, because there's so much to do without spending any money in this hobby.
Right.
So yeah. Just make note of that. That's all I got coming up next Friday show. New starts of the new year. Nothing really new. Just the same old same, and I think I'm happy with that.
Awesome. So what I'm doing right now is I'm taking Matthew's channel link and I'm putting it in the chat. Go ahead and give him a follow. Give him a warm welcome.
Give him a sub.
Yeah, Matt, if you want to drop in who you PC, who's your home team you root for, and a couple guys you PC is always good to know.
Definitely.
We do a lot of trading in the community
now, Matt.
Awesome.
There you go. It's easy.
Okay, so Mike, do you have anything going on to close out 2024 and open up 2025?
Well, tomorrow I'm going to be doing a card sale. I got a whole bunch of stuff here. I got some vintage. I've got
Sold A-Rod.
New stuff. What's that?
Sold A-Rod. Let's just get it out.
I think I sent them all. I think I sent them all to you. But if I come across any in there, which I highly doubt, I will. I'll put sold on there. for you. We're going to do that at 1 o'clock, and Maddie's going to help me out. He says he's with the family. He's been with the family on an extended staycation, and they're about ready to kill each other, so he needs to get away from them for a little bit. So yeah, we're going to do that. As far as next year, no, Johnny, there's not going to be any breaks this year. I told you that I'm done with breaks.
What time is your sale?
Arnie has talked me into the archives break, so I guess I will do that.
What time is your sale tomorrow, Mike?
What's that?
SP Hobby wants to know what time is the sale.
It's going to be 1 o'clock Eastern time. We're going to start it. I don't know. I don't even know how many thousands of cards here, like 3,000 cards.
Nice.
But it's going to be an ongoing. It's going to be an ongoing thing.
Very cool.
We'll see what we got. Any cards that don't sell, like if I got 50-cent cards that don't sell, they're going to go next time. They're going to be in a 25-cent spot or something like that.
Or you could do a bulk lot, stack of cards, whatever. Yeah, $10, whatever.
I can stack them up and stuff like that. I have this box is from my nephew's uncle. This is the last box that he has. There's a lot of, it's relatively low price in here. There's 50-cent dollar cards. I do have some that are $5 and $10. There's some basketball, football in here, mostly baseball. And then I have my box here, which is starting out at 25 cents. I got $1 lots. I got like 12 cards in a $1 lot. So it's like 8 cents a card and stuff like that. I just want to clear some of the last stuff out. This is behind me. This is the stack for Jeff Shaw. He's coming down next weekend. So
that's going to get bigger. I got a package going your way too. I got to send you.
He's got a quite a haul going out. So it might be a little bit too late to say if you got stuff coming for Jeff. But I made up another box for him of for his breaks when he's going to start doing that in the new year again. So I made up like 30 more lots for him. Mostly newer stuff in there with some
nice
stuff like that. So just to get rid of the cards. I mean, I was opening up update hangers for myself, and I actually completed the set. And whatever I had left over, top rookies and stuff like that, I threw in there.
That's a good question.
But
is
now
they're still on strike, Mike, that you know of?
No, I think they're back.
Yeah, they're back. I just don't know what capacity.
I think they went back last week.
Awesome. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
So then this is going to lead into Enfuego and what we're doing next year.
All right. So I don't really have much going on. I got a PSA order that is currently being worked on, but from picking up, being inspired by a KC Car Connection, doing a live stream showing his Bobby Witt collection, I'm actually going to do a J-Rock collection live stream.
Nice.
There we go.
Right now, I have a total. Actually, you know what? I'm going to leave that
for
blank.
The stream.
I'm going to leave that blank. I'm going to
you showed me that.
that is going to be a giveaway question that I'm going to do. And the question is going to be how many slab J-Rods I currently have right now. So that's what I'm going to do. But other than that, again, I hope everybody who has been spending time with the family over the holidays, it's memorable. Take advantage of it, spending time with the loved ones that you do have, because I'm sure there's some of us who don't have that connectivity with their family, or they just don't have family to connect with. But if you have a good friend or anybody like what we have here on social media, you can consider that family. That's just as good in my book.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but anything blood related, take advantage of it, because at one point you never know what's gonna happen. Okay, and whatever resolutions you do have going into the new year, I do hope that you fulfill them. I know there's some that I do have, and I know that there's going to be some that'll likely be broken 30 minutes into the new year. So
you being nice to me? Let's try it.
I always hurt you there, Arnie. You know that. But other than that,
so what are we doing with the podcast in 2025?
In 2025,
That's
here's what we are expecting to do. First episode of 2025, it's going to be a no holds barred.
Oh boy.
And I say that because a couple of weeks ago, Fangraphs has released their interpretation of the 100 best active players in the MLB.
Do you have that? Do you want me to post it for you?
Please, if you don't mind.
I got it.
Please do, because so we can leave everybody all worked up.
Oh yeah, this is going to work people up, and this is what we're going to do. It's going to be Monday or Tuesday. You got it, Enfuego?
Yep, it's up.
Okay. So Monday or Tuesday, I am going to take this list and I'm going to put it down into an Excel spreadsheet that I'm going to make available to everyone. It's going to go on a Google Docs. All right. And I'm going to separate the players from the pitchers. And it's going to be sheet 1 is going to be the players. Sheet 2 is going to be the pitchers. And what I would like the Cardmunity to do is shoot me an email, say, hey, I want the doc. You know, I'm going to send it to you. You can edit it. And we want to see your rankings of these players. And then we're going to come up with a Cardmunity ranking of where these players should be. It's 100 players. Like I said, the pitchers, there's probably only about 15 pitchers on here or so. And if you have the time to do it, if we can get it back to me that Sunday before the podcast, or maybe we push it back another week. Let's give it 2 weeks. Let's give it 2 weeks, Mike. Well, if you want, if we do it that week, we can throw in a depending on when we do that archives break, we can throw in a break spot. We'll give away one break spot to that archives break that you'll do together with us. We'll just give a spot away to just anybody that submits. Anybody that fills it out.
Yeah, if we got 20 people or 2, it doesn't matter. You submit. Yeah. You'll get a shot to win a free break spot in the break.
But we want to get a consensus on this because some of the players in some of the rankings are absolutely ridiculous. I mean, like the first one that popped in was number 12, Jacob deGrom.
Yeah,
really?
And Jose at number 8 or number 7. I love Jose Ramirez, but I'm also a realistic person. I'm not crazy. Number 13, Cal Raleigh. I mean, because he's a catcher at that position, but outside of all criterias of all players, I mean, Jesus.
Bryce Harper, 31. Are you serious?
I mean, the biggest one to me is Jarren Duran cleaning up at 100.
Yeah. I mean, he's definitely higher than that.
Yeah, exactly. So it's just maybe this list was created to drum up some conversation, but that's
good for us because that's what we want.
We want to hear what people have to say because it is going to be interesting, and maybe we can hang on to these picks and do something at the end of the year and see where they rank. You know, that would be kind of fun too. So
it would be, So what I'm going to do is, I guess I'll shoot a video for it, and I'll put the spreadsheet in there. If you want access, you'll have to email me access for it, and you'll be an editor in it. And you can just fill out your column, put your name up, fill out your column, and then I'll total everything up, and just like draft results,
Awesome.
who had the lowest number, that's number 1. Who had the second lowest number, that's number 2. And I'll take that project on.
Nikki just reminded me. So 2025, we are actually moving the podcast from Saturday 7 to 9 to Monday 7 to 9.
Right.
Oof. And the reason why we're doing that is, one, everybody and their brother is doing something on the weekends, okay, which is okay. Not contesting it, whatever the case may be, but it tends to be, as a consensus, it's more feasible for the panel.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and we're able to cover the whole entire week plus the weekend.
Correct.
versus that partial week going into this
exactly.
Friday.
Going into baseball season, you know,
Yeah.
the bigger matchups are going to be on the
especially
weekend.
day
So we can
games
talk
on the
about
Sundays, double headers. You got a full slate of games, and it's going to be a little bit more, baseball direct, like Enfuego said, direct on results of players and how the teams are doing and how the cards are doing in relation to those teams.
So that's what we're going to be doing. But yeah, so we're going to go ahead and wrap it up here. Again, I do appreciate everybody's participation. Magnus, Mike, Arnie, I appreciate you guys hanging out. For everybody in the chat, if it's your first time, I appreciate you showing up, hanging out with us. There's a couple of live streams going on later on. Make sure you go check those out. If you haven't hit that like button, make sure y'all do so on the way out. And other than that, I appreciate everybody and Happy New Year's. And we'll catch you on the next go around. Have a good night, everybody.